Hi, my name is Megan Cedillo, and for my literature activity, I'm focusing on prop stories. And before I get started, I just wanted to let you know that I am getting over a cold, and so my throat is still sore, and I might be coughing a few times throughout the presentation, but hopefully not too much. So prop stories is a form of storytelling that includes either an object or objects to help enhance the overall experience for everyone. Now, the storyteller can decide to use the props just on their own, or they can integrate the props throughout the audience for audience participation. And I would say this works best for younger children up through the early years of elementary school, so like about second or third grade. And it also, by implementing props throughout the story, it will help keep the kids' attention. So if some kids can't really just sit there and listen to someone speak, by having the props, it's kind of making it like a fun little activity for them. Now, for this presentation, I went ahead and chose The Rainbow Fish, which is a book from the early 90s. It was one of my favorite books when I was younger, and probably still one of my favorite children's books. But for this one, for this presentation, I only have two props. So I have the rainbow fish here and then one other smaller fish. Now, if I was to present this to a group of children, I would kind of also incorporate like an arts and crafts time. So every child would have their own fish here, and then they would have the option, or the choice, whatever, to color the fish as they will. And during the story, they'll have their own little fish, and then towards the end, spoiler alert, they're all going to get their own little scales. And I don't know the story by heart, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to take a pause in two different parts throughout the book where I'll explain what my partner or helper would be doing at the time. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started, and then I'll try to remember to be enthusiastic, because as a storyteller, that's probably going to be one of the most important things. You want to try and keep their attention with or without props. So here we have the rainbow fish. I hope you enjoy it. A long way out in the deep blue sea there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkly silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all of his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the rainbow fish. They turned away when he swam by. There we go. Excuse me. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anyone like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish, "but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find a wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." The rainbow fish found the cave. It was very dark inside, and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I have been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy. Excuse me. I can't, the rainbow fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shiny scales? Never. How could I ever be happy without them? Suddenly he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale. The rainbow fish wavered. Only one very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't just miss one. Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much, the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he touched the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. So I'm going to pause from the story right now. This scene here with the one scale being given to the smaller fish being when my friend or my helper would come in with my rainbow fish here, and they would go ahead and pluck off one scale off the rainbow fish and go ahead and place it on a fish of one of my audience members. So it'd probably just be the closest child up to the front or to that one helper, and they would have that here. Okay, back to the story. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale, flashing so it didn't take long before the rainbow fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at least felt at home among the other fish. And then when I would be reading this scene, my helper would go ahead and take off all but one of these shiny scales off my fish and place it on all the other children's fish in the audience. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shiny scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said the rainbow fish, and as happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. And I hope you enjoyed my story, and I hope you enjoyed the rainbow fish.